AWAI グローバルフォーラム、昨日のね、Day1ご一緒いただいた方を。
And thank you for people who came back today, participating yesterday's Day1.
So, just quick note for English audience. Please make sure you choose the English channel at the interpretation tab from the bottom of the Zoom screen, and so that you can enjoy this forum all in English with interpretation. 昨日ね、ご参加いただいた方は大丈夫かと思いますけれども、Zoom の
Who participated yesterday already know, as you know, you can use Zoom interpretation function. So if you look at the bottom part of the Zoom windows, you can see the kind of interpretation function, and you can choose a language there.
それではですね、Day2 の、オープニングの方を始めて。
Okay, this is an opening for Day2.
はい、Day2 のオープニングはですね、Hillenさん。
So I'd like to ask Hillenさん to join us for the opening tonight.
Good morning, Yasuさん。
で、Hillenさんはですね、今回の、フォーラムの
As you know, Hillen さん is, joined the team of the planning and organizing this event. Usually he based on Netherlands and as a strategist for the administration. And actually, Hillen joined us last year's AWAI Gathering Global Forum. And the title was Emergence from AWAI and intermingling of the human and non-human at that time. He joined us at that time, and we end up, he ended up joining us for the planning, and I'm so happy about that. So I welcome all of you who came to the Day1 or who came from today. So I'd like to invite Hillen to have a comment on Day1, so that the comments on Day1, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Yasu, for the introduction, and I'm very happy to be here, part of the Ecological Memes Forum as well, after a very inspirational journey that we've had since last year. And I think yesterday we also had a very interesting exploration of animism from many different perspectives. And it will be very hard to summarize everything that we have heard, of course, in the course of the two sessions and the reflections that we had on all of the speakers' perspectives. There are a few things that I thought would be perhaps interesting to highlight, because one of the things that we discussed and explored yesterday was that, in a way, when we explore animism, we immediately come across the fact that we have to use many abstractions and many specific jargon to explore this theme. And it's in fact one of our human traits to be able to think conceptually and in an abstract way. And what made me think was that probably people performing animistic rituals or experiencing them would probably never need to use the words that we use when we explore it. So I thought that was interesting also in relation to what Anais said yesterday, that in her practice with the medicinal herbs, there's part of it that you cannot synthesize, or that you cannot methodologically replicate, because it's something that you simply have to experience. You have to do it in practice. You have to build up this relation with the world around you, and that takes time and it takes presence. And I thought that was a very interesting perspective to bring these two worlds together. And according to the definition of life that we saw yesterday, the definition that we saw in one of the presentations was that life is everything that is capable of being born, reproducing, or dying. And I think we can all feel that in a way that is perhaps the essence of life. But if you then think of abstract thought or thought at all, wouldn't that be part of life just as well? Because a thought can be born, it can result in new thoughts, replicating, reproducing, and it can die as well if a thought disappears from our mind. And so in a way, the sense that we thought that we are creating distance from the world around us by using abstractions and thoughts and even words we mentioned yesterday as well. Mm-hmm. Perhaps it's all still part of this same whole, this same reality that we are all experiencing and all part of. And that thought was further strengthened by the exploration of the algae that we saw in the presentation yesterday as well, where scientists are discovering that they actually have a vocabulary of 1,700 words. We don't know what they mean yet, but we know that they're speaking in some kind of language or words. And if we say that humans create a distance from the world around us by using words and abstractions, then that would mean that algae would be doing that as well, which obviously isn't true. We cannot imagine them as not being part of the natural world. So reversing that would mean that whatever we do, whatever we experience, we will always remain part of life and all that exists. And I thought that was a really interesting perspective. So also the topic whether we are masters of the world with our unique abilities as humans, whether that is true or not, perhaps it doesn't matter as long as whatever we do with the gifts that we have is something that we create for the benefit of all. So I think that that was a really interesting perspective, and in fact, it's many cosmologies, myths about the creation of the universe that say that a world or the universe or life is created simply by some divinity or deity thinking or speaking. So in a way, whatever we say, whatever we do is all part of this creationary process. And it's how we apply it in daily life is what it in the end comes down to, I feel. And that's why I'm really interested that today's sessions are very much about applying these perspectives in daily practices, as we'll see when we look at the program today.
Wow. Thank you so much for describing beautifully about day one. すみません。日本語で話しますけど、とか、日本語で話しますけど。いや、でも本当に私も、
Yes, I was in the day one. I was thinking about the Animism mythology.
なんて、この世界にどういうふうに僕ら自身が立ち会って関わっていくのかっていう
How we encounter with this world. That is our theme today. And that gave us, yesterday's session gave us a very important clue for us regarding how to encounter. And Antoine talked about the kinship of the plants. And so we are the kind of relative of the plants. We tend to think separately, the human is human, bird is bird, and plants are plants. So that's maybe modern way of thinking of separating everything. But, there is a multiple layered reality which are not allowed to be encountered only through the separated way of thinking. So we always include that kind of multi-layered reality and living our life. And Okuno-san used the word of passage or way. Keep opening the passage. It's in a way, it's a dynamic way of relating to the world. So it's kind of reminds me of something like kind of old, not only old. Our animism may sounds like something arcane, old, something distant from our world. But from Okuno-san's point of view, it's really present to us as a reality. And he also talked about COVID. Human being is not the master, only subject, protagonist of the universe. and how we can relate to non-human. But it's in a way really specific and a crude theme for us. And Nadia-san, there's a deepen that in that way. So today, day 2, starting from day 1, we dive into the realm of food and fashion, and namely the things, day-to-day animism, possibility of animism in our daily life. That is what we are going to explore today. So we invited great navigators today. So please enjoy day 2 with us. Everyone who are here right now, I invite you to, re-encounter with animism and see how it's relating, how it's impact to your daily life. And you can see it from that little bit different perspective from day 1. So please pay attention to that.